All right, if you have a question, please use the raise hand function in the participants tab. Our first question will come from Daniel Martinez Crams with the Stanford Daily. Go ahead, Daniel.
Hey, Jet. Obviously not the week one you wanted, but bounced back in a big way. Everyone stood by you. What was that process like, and what was it like to have the support from your teammates?
Yeah, it's huge. My teammates had my back. Coach Shaw believed in me. Coach Alomar. But all those things are important, and we were a really tight team, and that's what I expected. When someone has a rough game, I'm gonna have their back. And that night, I had a bad night, and everyone believed in me throughout the week, throughout the night. And they knew I'd get back on track, and having them behind me definitely helped.
Our next question will come from Janie McCauley in the Associated Press.
Hi, Jet. Thanks for doing this. Just curious, sort of what your take was, how Davis comes back and one day of practice comes in and still throws for more than 300 yards. And Coach Shaw was saying that game one up there, Davis just kind of said, "Okay, Coach, there's nothing we can do about this. Let's move forward. I'm going to cheer on my guys." And I mean that takes some maturity to not be angry as all get out, right? I mean, it was frustrating, I'm sure, for all of you. But what does that say about him as a leader on your team, and to still be able to come out there and do what he did last week and only be ready to build on that against Washington State?
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot about him. I think most people would be pissed if they were held off of something that, we all know he's been working so hard for this, and for him to respond that way, I think, one, it's a testament to his athletic ability, right? That he can come in and have a amazing game, with one day of practice. But also it's a testament to his mental composure and just his ability to rely on everything that he's worked on. But yeah, as a teammate of his, and speaking on behalf of the team, he's definitely someone that we look to when we need someone to lead us. So yeah, I mean, he's done an incredible job, and the way he's handled it so far has been good to watch, and good for me as someone who follows him and looks to him.
Along those lines, following up, I mean, what was your flight back like from Eugene? I mean, a tough day for you, and do you almost look at what Davis went through and say, okay, let's put things in perspective here. This is not the kicker I am, and maybe what was that flight like for you, and how did you gain some perspective from that day, with everything that went on for you personally and for those guys?
Yeah, that's a rough flight. It's a rough flight anytime it's a loss, but especially that night. I'm hard on myself, but I'm always able to keep perspective, and I know what Davis was going through. It's difficult, and I know there's people in the world right now that are going through difficult things, and at the end of the day, this is not life or death right now, and there are people right now that are facing struggles that are life or death, and for me, I always keep that perspective, especially in what's going on right now in the world. But yeah, definitely a rough flight.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from RJ Abadia with the Bootleg.
Hey, Jet. I feel a little silly with the great perspective that you just had asking you about this, but Coach said you're going to have a new long snapper today, or Saturday, I should say. And I'm just curious, the timing between the holder, the kicker, the snapper, how long does it take to really lock that in?
Yeah. Kyle went down, and Bailey stepped up about halfway through the game last weekend, and he did a great job. But yeah, it's an important relationship that we have to have and we have to develop. We had reps today. We're going to get more reps tomorrow. But it's just at the end of the day, all of us have to trust each other. this is not a year that we're going to have a traditional preparation. Unfortunately, we're not going to have 9 months of time to go through snap, hold, kick. We're gonna have to develop this quickly, but we all know that, and we all have the ability to just trust in each other, and have that almost blind faith that, hey, he's gonna get his job done. I know Ryan Sanborn's gonna have a great hold, and they trust me. So um, it's just kind of like just one of those things right now. We just have to accept it. There's nothing good is going to come out of worrying over this. There's nothing we can do about it. And I think Bailey's been mature. And yeah, we're bummed that Kyle can't be with us, but he'll be back soon. I know that.
Thank you.
For our next question, we'll head back to Janie McCauley. Go ahead, Janie.
Jet, Coach Shaw last week called you I might not be exactly right. These guys can correct me, but a cool Hawaiian breeze, something along those lines, or Hawaiian breeze. Just the way you're able to stay even keel and maybe bounce back from a tough day. Has he said that to you before, or is that a nice compliment that you're unflappable and you're just kind of unfazed and able to put something in the rear view and start kicking him through the uprights from 48 yards right out of the gate?
Yeah, I think I've heard that one maybe one or two times before. I think it's funny. But yeah, I think it's something that I pride myself on. But it's definitely something that I've earned, and definitely that I work towards. Right, it's the ability to treat those victories the same way as those losses, and not be up and down. At the end of the day, I'm just doing my job, and that's something that I think I've remained constant through my career, and definitely something that I work to keep there.
What's the trick to doing that? Over the years, have you gotten better at that? I mean, you talked about Davis, maybe if he was somebody else, might be really mad about what happened. And how have you sort of come to being so even keel and calm about a bad day? I mean, I'm guessing that didn't happen day one for you, right? When you walked on to campus?
Yeah, definitely something that I've worked for. And we've talked about it a little bit already. It's keeping perspective. It's treating my successes the same way as a failure. At the end of the day, like a good quote that I love and I've heard while I was here is, you don't see a mailman celebrating when he delivers a package to the front door. For me, when I make a kick or when I miss a kick, it's got to be the same reaction. Because the expectation for me from Coach Alomar, for myself, it's that I make it. And when it happens, it's not a huge deal, and it can't be a huge deal either way. And if I overreact and, one way or another, then I lose some of that composure. So something that we practice. It's something that, Coach Alomar has kept still with me. And I think it's a theme with all the specialists here. I don't think I'm that unique. And honestly, I think it's a theme with all the guys here. Davis is a great example. We just have a locker room of mature guys, and we definitely feed off each other. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Our next question, we'll head back to Daniel Martinez Crams. Go ahead, Daniel.
Hey there. I just wanted to follow up. We were kind of joking about the rain earlier, but you are playing in a lot of wetter climates later in the year this season because of the way it's structured. Are you doing anything differently, knowing that you might have to kick in some bad weather, especially when you travel later in the season?
Yeah, it's definitely weird, starting up in November, and you kind of forget how cold it's going to be, right? We're used to starting earlier, and it's a bit warmer, but there's nothing different we're going to do. We're going to kick with a wet ball more often. The long snappers are going to snap with a wet ball more often. But really, other than that, we're just going to stick to the basics, and that's what we always do. There's nothing crazy that's going to help us. There's no magic trick, unfortunately. And I don't think we have any games in the snow or anything. So I think the worst we'll get is some rain, maybe at Cal or Washington.
Any other questions for Jet? All right, thank you, Jet, for your time.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.